Welcome to this demo of Kubepanel, the open-source Kubernetes-powered web hosting control panel. Today, we'll be installing Kubepanel on 3 Ubuntu 24.04 servers. Once we're done, these machines will form a powerful 3-node Kubepanel cluster, ready to run your hosting workloads with enterprise-grade reliability. On the screen, you can see the Kubepanel GitHub page with the installation instructions. Let's grab the installation command and head over to the terminal to get started. I'm logging into the first server using SSH, and this is where we'll paste and run the Kubepanel install script. Before we do that, let's check one of the key prerequisites: storage. Each node in the cluster needs to have a dedicated block device attached as /dev/SDB. This device is required for backend storage, and storage replication will take place directly between these dev SDB devices across all 3 nodes. That replication ensures redundancy and data safety, so even if one node goes down, your data remains protected. Here, you can see that on this node, the dev SDB device is already attached and ready. All 3 servers must have this block device configured before you start the installation. All right, let's go ahead and run the install script on the first node. This will set up the core components of Kubepanel and prepare the cluster for additional nodes. Next, we'll switch back to the documentation page, copy the join node command, and run it on the second and third servers. On these nodes, only the necessary packages are installed to allow them to seamlessly join the cluster created by the first node. With this simple process, Kubepanel makes it easy to scale your infrastructure, adding more servers for high availability, better performance, and improved fault tolerance. We'll fast forward through this part of the installation and pick things up once the cluster is ready. The installation of the cluster components is now complete on the second and third nodes. At this point, the first node is waiting for the others to join so we can form a highly available Kubepanel cluster. To do this, we simply copy the join command from the first node and run it on the second and third. Once the nodes are successfully joined, the installation automatically continues with deploying the Kubepanel components across the cluster, bringing the control panel itself online. With the nodes joined, the installation now moves on to the final setup steps, where we provide a few details to configure the system. We'll enter an email address for notifications, set the root username for the first user, create a secure password, and specify the domain name where the Kubepanel system will be accessible. It's important to make sure that the A record for this domain name is already pointing to the public IP address of your cluster, so the system can be reached from the internet. Once this is in place, Kubepanel will automatically issue a valid HTTPS certificate, giving you a secure, encrypted connection right from the start. Now let's speed things up again. The installation process usually takes no more than 15 to 20 minutes, but on more powerful servers, it can be much faster. During this time, the installer is automatically setting up everything needed for the Kubepanel control panel. On the final screen, we can see that the installation has completed. The installer prints out the external IP addresses of the cluster members and also reminds us of an important step. You need to create A records for the control panel, for the webmail interface, and for phpMyAdmin. Alternatively, you can use a single wildcard A record, which works just as well. To verify that the DNS is configured correctly, we can use the dig command in the terminal to resolve the domain names. And to confirm that the installation was successful, we can use kubectl to check that all components are up and in the running state. At this point, Kubepanel is fully installed, and we're ready to log in to the control panel and start managing our web hosting services. In the next video, we'll take a closer look at the dashboard UI and its powerful features.